bias, and conversely, stocks that do reverse splits haven't been doing well.
Right. But we've seen, of course, the rise of the retail investor, Brian Kelly, and EV space is a favorite space amongst these retail investors. And you take a look at Nikola, which is $41, NEO, which is $13, and maybe for the average investor looking at a stock that's $1,400 a share is off-putting, and maybe this will actually open the doors to more investors.
I mean, sure. Yeah, maybe it will. I agree with Karen. It's absurd. Like, I mean, there's nothing that's changed.
I'm on board, too. I'm on board with you guys. So, I mean, I don't really get this 6% rise now, but, you know, so be it. Here we are.
Come on, Mel.
Well, you heard it straight from the horse's mouth. They don't understand it. They don't get it. And they never will. And that's why I'm here. I want to help you guys understand it and get it and see it like I see it. And so we'll see it like Elon, you know, he said, hey, PayPal, you know, it's magic internet stuff. And nobody got PayPal and probably still don't. And, you know, they probably don't understand what happened to his hair at a young age in PayPal. And then it's like, now he's got hair now. And he said, well, let there be hair and let there be Teslas everywhere. And here we are. And then Ford, I don't even know what Ford's doing. They got, look, it's called a concept truck right here. Not actually even a real truck, but they're trying. And, you know, that's how I know I'm in the right stock. And then we got this right here talking about accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy, and then Tesla on the front. And Elon liked this tweet. So is that foretelling that the solar roof is coming? I'll get into that later. And then here we have the trending news on YouTube, and we got 2 storms coming into the Gulf at the same time. So that means thousands of people could be potentially running into power outages, loss of power depending on the grid for energy, because when strong storms come through, it doesn't just affect the Gulf, but the whole southeast. And then we also have the California wildfires, and, you know, it's burning down 1 million acres, which is, you know, burning down power poles, again, loss in power, and they're going to struggle to get it back restored. But if everybody had the Tesla solar roof and the power wall, you would have 24/7 outage protection, even in lightning storms, doesn't matter. And the grid will flow into the power wall, and the solar will flow down to the power wall and out to the power lines. So, you tell me if this is better for the environment or not. And also, not burning coal, not hurting the environment. And yeah, and look how beautiful it looks. So, we will look at Tesla Solar Roof Google Trends. And as you can see, we had a high of 100 in March 2017. And just steady decline since then. But with Battery Day coming, and with the earnings report that Elon did, I do think he mentioned the Tesla solar roof was coming. So that means Battery Day, we could maybe see some Tesla solar roof news. And then you pair that up with his like tweet. We know how he likes doing hidden codes. And yeah, so California, they want the solar roof. Maybe that's to do with the fires, or just because they're basically pretty hip on stuff. So either way, we can also jump down to the past 90 days just to see what's happening. And it's fallen off. So who knows? Really not too much to judge in the past 90 days. But yeah, Alaska's coming in. They're out in the middle of nowhere. They probably want to use the sun's energy. And then we got Tesla, which is important for the stock and the company. You know, they're both kind of intertwined. And we're ticking at a 100 back in November of 2019. And then we hit 52 and 33 or 47. And then right now we're at a 42. So yeah, just kind of everyday Tesla stuff, doing things, you know. And then how to buy a Tesla. is ticking up. So maybe there's more interest in the stock market, more interest in the stock, which let's see when it topped out at 100. November 24th to the 30th was the peak. So can we get back to all-time highs in interest on how to buy a Tesla? And we'll look at the charts and see what that happened 24th to the 30th last year. And then, so looking at the charts, we'll go to the 24th through the 30th. November. Yeah, so right in here, wait. Right in here. Wow, so basically the bottom. So if if that starts ticking up, maybe it's the bottom, who knows. Um but, with everybody still bearish on the stock, I mean, I guess that means it's not really priced in. So, and then we also have declining volume coming in from right here, saying that the big move has not happened. So when you pair that up with our huge pattern we're in right here, if you exclude this upward sloping trend line, we'll get into that later. Could we see the volume kind of fill out this range in here until October, or maybe even November until the election, and wait till earnings report? We'll be watching that, and then beat this guy. Okay, so as you can see, we are at the top of this channel that's been governing our highs. So do we see a resistance pullback down to at least 1800? After thinking about it, I do think that we're at the top of the channel and maybe a pullback. But the only thing that's got me questioning it is the weekly continuation signal. But we'll get into that later. Right now, I just want to talk about the weekly. Looks like continuation, and then the MACD is looking good. And the 3-day MACD is the only thing that's kind of concerning, and it's because we have some bearish divergence coming in from this high right here to this high. But nothing's happening yet. And then looking at the daily, really nothing to be seen, just continuation in both, which is good, but also maybe bearish divergence come in, and then we can jump down to the 6-hour. And yeah, more potential bearish divergence in on MACD from here to here. And then we can jump down to the 3-hour. As you can see, we're losing momentum hard and coming down. So, maybe does pull back down to the 55 on the 3-hour, which it's been playing off. And that'd be coming in at like 1690-ish region. So, who knows? And then looking at the weekly, we got the golden cross and a pullback to the 55, basically saying coronavirus wasn't an issue. We just got overbought and reset the oscillators. So that's very bullish for Tesla. And then we'll also check out the other indicators on this guy. So getting back to my normal indicators I look at on the weekly time frame, it is throwing continuation bounce off support. So that would be the bullish thing for me, keeping me bullish on Tesla. But, like we spoke about in the lower time frames, looking at the 2-hour, and this is kind of what we've been looking at since I started this channel, was the 2-hour getting overextended. So, does the 2-hour lead us down to 1997, or do we bounce these other lower targets? So if we took this guy, we can see that there is basically you have a channel sloping upwards as well. So if you took these two channels and measured the move, it is 14%. So from the breakout point, if we broke down, 14% would put us somewhere in this region. And with the golden cross of the 2155 right here, that's the white and the purple, it does like to go down to the green eventually, just like right here. So golden cross, or actually that one wasn't a golden cross. Okay, so look, golden cross, and then came back to the green. So, does it come back to the green and break this pattern? Hard to say, but looking at the 1 hour, the volatility did light up orange, saying that the move had ticked off, and then we're steadily contracting on the way. So if it does spike up, turn red, and come down here, that could be the play. But now that we've discussed lower time frames, nothing's really changed with Tesla, just more of the same. So what I'd like to do now is we can hop on to SPY and get a clean chart. And so looking at SPY on the weekly, we do have a little bit of loss of momentum on the squeeze momentum indicator, which is not a death in and of itself. But if it did turn down, that'd be a double top in SPY. But I'm not looking for that to happen, and I'll tell you why when we look at NVIDIA, because of the inverse head and shoulder target from left shoulder, head, right shoulder in SPY. So checking out the 2-day, it is putting in bearish divergence on the MACD. So let me draw this for you. So we got MACD coming down as price actions going up in a rising wedge pattern, and it does break down 60% of the time. So if we see the MACD turn down on the 2-day and come in here, that would line up with a pullback down in here. But until it breaks the pattern and we see my bad, wrong tool. If we see the volume break out to the upside, then we could be a potential pullback. But putting all that together, not really sure, just because when you look at the monthly, it's a totally different viewpoint on it. And so yeah, the monthly could be putting in bearish divergence, but again, it's got to be confirmed and over with. But we had bullish divergence on the MACD right here from this point to this point, hidden bullish divergence. Actually, I lied. It's actually from back here, hidden bullish divergence from this low to this low, because it didn't go down as far. So that's bullish. And then we can check out the super high time frames, the 3 month, and yeah, the 3 months not looking so good on the MACD, but a time frame this high I wouldn't put a lot of weight on. But if we see this thing spike up, that could be a huge move for SPY, pointed up to the $500 range. And if you've been sticking with us, we got the $500 range off a Fibonacci target, and from swing low to high up here is 50%. And so yeah, that's pointed up to the $500 range, as you can see. So if we see it spike up, that would be bullish for SPY, but even if it dumped, I do just look for it to get bought up pretty fast in SPY. And so yeah, looking into that, we got the golden cross and then a pullback to the 200, bounce, bounce, bounce. So do we see a dump down to 300 potentially in the cards? Maybe. And so putting back our normal tools on. Okay, we're going to check out NVIDIA here. Because it's Sunday, we might as well look at some other stuff because there's nothing really to talk about on Tesla. So looking at the daily, we have a inverse head and shoulders target. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. And if you take the measured move off of that, that is 75%. And then if we go 75% above the move, that would be a $553 target. So does that get hit? Potentially. So, and also, excuse me for that, we will go to the weekly time frame and look at RSI. So if we've been sticking with me, the Tesla rolled RSI up. And so I'll show you that real quick. So we rolled RSI up, and just like NVIDIA, it rolled it up and then it continued. And it has bounced the EMAs as support on our indicator. and just like Tesla, bounced it as support. So we know if Nvidia's already pumped off of that, that Tesla could be potentially going to pump it, you know. So and higher time frames are more important than lower. And so yeah, looking at weekly, we broke the EMAs as support resistance, and that's bullish. So out of this pattern, you know, not a strong really feel to it, but I do think it goes up. But if it goes down, again, no big deal, in my opinion. And then looking at the weekly in Amazon, it's different than Tesla. You can see it's underneath it, and that's a continuation sell signal. So if it pulls down out of this pattern in Amazon, wouldn't be surprised. But I use Amazon almost every day, so I'm really not looking for that to happen, just because I love Amazon. And the Shopify, you know, Shopify is in kind of the same pattern. Uh, and on the 3-day, it's not looking so hot, like it's bouncing as resistance. So, you know, looking at the 6-hour, also continuation sell. So Shopify, not looking so strong, but Tesla uses them and Walmart uses them, and they're a good company. So, hard to be bearish on them. And then we got Google, looking like more of the same in Google. Did put in a green dot and push in resistance. So, you know, maybe Google might not perform as strong until it breaks these EMAs. But we'll be keeping an eye on Google maybe next week. And then Apple is looking like it could run into some resistance. But, you know, again, another company I love. Hard to be bearish on that. You know, have an Apple cell phone. Gonna always have one. But, you know, could see another push up in Apple. And then with Apple, it's also a stock split hyped. And I've done a little bit of research, and stocks that hit all-time highs usually keep hitting all-time highs, and stocks that split generally outperform the market for the next 3 years. So if you're looking at something different than Apple Tesla, it could get hurt versus your percent gains in other stocks. But also could be putting in bearish divergence on the 6-hour. And then looking at gold, was in Wall Street bets last week. Everybody was hyped about it. So, and there you go, another continuation sell signal on the weekly in gold. So, you know, again, always bullish on gold. I do think it has a purpose and is a wonderful thing. And this looks like a lot like Nvidia gold on the monthly if we look at right here. So Nvidia big cup pattern, and then it broke it. So is gold going to do what Nvidia did and just melt up? And you know, if you know what the government's doing with the stimulus and printing money, you know, could we see another bull market in gold? I do I do think so. And then ultimate moonboy targets would be support resistance there, and then measured move from high to low to be a 400% gainer in gold. So, you know, if we see a 830 gold, wouldn't be surprised in the next 10 years if you know, you account for all the money printing and everything like that. But for now, gold's looking like it might be in trouble off the weekly. But you know, that's all kind of hinging on what the Fed wants to do to me. But is looking like it's in a falling wedge, which is 60% to the upside. So if we see this guy broke, would be looking for a big move to happen. But again, we got 2 drives of 90 on the RSI with bearish divergence, and we know what happens after that. So really nothing to be seen there. And then yeah, guys, so stay safe out there, and like and subscribe if you're new, and can't wait to see you next time. Have a great day. You guys are legends.